Welcome to part 10 of my video series, A Rabbi Encounters the Universe. We've been talking about God, and now we're going to turn to humanity. A Rabbi Encounters Humanity. And I like to call this first talk about humanity a little less than angels, a little more than animals. What do I mean by that? Human beings are a little less than angels. Do I literally believe in angels? I don't know, but certainly Jewish tradition literally believes in angels. The Hebrew word for angel, malach, also means messenger, and these are messengers from God. They're put on this earth to do God's work, and they have a job to do, and they're not allowed to turn right or left from doing that job. What God tells them to do, they do. The idea of an angel rebelling against God, of a fallen angel, became very much part of another tradition. Christians talk about Satan, Satan, as a fallen angel. In Judaism, it's simply Hasatan, one of God's angels, basically the prosecuting angel, who serves as a prosecutor on the name of God but cannot do anything that God doesn't say to do. So the angels must do God's work. They have no free will. We are a little bit less than angels. We're not perfect like angels. We go right, we go wrong. We human beings have free will. What about animals? There's a popular idea out there today that because of Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection, that we were descended along with other animals, along with all other living things from a common ancestor, that we are no different from animals, that human beings are just kind of fancy animals with more developed brains, but there's no essential qualitative difference. But one of the teachings of my tradition that I think is very important, and this issue will come up over and over again, it'll come up when we talk about animal rights and our treatment of animals, that there is an essential qualitative difference between human beings and animals. This is already hinted at in the creation story. The word for to create, actually, it's a word for to form. In the second chapter of Genesis, it says Vayitzer, and God formed the animals. And then it says Vayitzer, and God formed the man. It starts with the male, and then you all know the story. God takes the rib. So it's the same word, to form, but there's a minor little grammatical difference when you look at the Hebrew. When it says Vayitzer, when God formed the animals, the letter Yud appears only once. When it says God formed the man, the letter Yud appears twice. The word Yetzer has a double meaning in Hebrew. It not only means formed, it means inclination or appetite. Animals have only one particular appetite. They follow their appetites. They follow their instincts. They don't sit and decide. A wolf doesn't decide, am I going to attack the sheep or not attack the sheep? Wolves do what wolves do, and lions do what lions do. And animals simply follow the way God made them. Humans are different. Humans are given two possibilities, and the word that we use, I mentioned Yetzer, means instinct or inclination, and humans are given two possible ways we could follow. The rabbis call this Yetzer Hara, the evil, the bad inclination, and Yetzer HaTov, the good inclination. And human beings are different from animals in that human beings make choices. We are constantly trying to decide, do we follow our bad inclination? Do we follow our good inclination? And the idea is to follow our good inclination. There's a wonderful teaching that the rabbis tried to get rid of the Yetzer Hara, the bad inclination altogether. They put it in a barrel, and according to this rabbinic teaching, when they got rid of the Yetzer Hara, nobody got married, nobody went to work, nobody built a house, nobody acted. We need our appetite. We need our Yetzer. We need to direct them. We need to direct them towards the good. And that's why there's a very famous passage, Ben Zoma, in the Talmud that says, Ezehu Gibor Hakovesh at Yitzro. Who is strong? Somebody who conquers or controls their inclination. Somebody who directs that inclination in a new and a better direction. Only human beings have that possibility. So we are given moral choices and we sometimes go wrong. And a big part of what it means to be a human being is how can we go from making wrong choices to once again making right choices. And much of Jewish tradition teaches getting back onto the path of making right choices. In fact, that's what our high holidays, and particularly Yom Kippur, is all about, returning Shuva to the proper choices. Now, the fact that we human beings can choose and we can redirect, I believe that Sigmund Freud built very much on this idea. He was an atheist, born a Jew, and yet he said that we have these inner drives, this id, and according to Freud, the id are these appetites we have that are often out of control, and we have to struggle to control them. But Freud also teaches that we can transform those inner appetites into positive things. We can redirect them. And it's a very, very Jewish teaching. We could take something that could lead us down the wrong path and go down the right path. A little less than angels, a little more than animals. Angels don't have free will, they don't have choice, they have to follow God's will. Animals don't have free will, they don't have choice, they've got to follow their inner appetites. Human beings have free will and the ability to decide whether they're going to do good, whether they're going to do bad, which way they're going to do, which appetite they're going to follow. And we struggle. But in that struggle, that is what makes us human. That what makes us unique. And I believe that that is what makes us human beings created in the image of God. It doesn't say that animals are created in the image of God. Animals are certainly God's creation, but only humans are created in the image of God. And being created in the image of God means being created with the ability to make moral choices and live as a result of those moral choices. Of course, one of the great questions that leaves us, why would God make human beings to begin with? And we will get to that in our next talk.